All right, so before we get started today, I just want to thank everybody who gives me feedback, everybody who interacts with me. Um, but what I would like people to DM me, write in the comments, just let me know what you guys are having issues with, what you guys would like for me to talk about, because I'm going to be on here every day. I'm going to give you a video every day. I'm going to give you some content, some knowledge, some enlightenment. And all I ask from you, is to let me know what you would like me to talk about. Because I have topics all day long. I have information to give you, but I want to make sure that I'm giving you guys information and knowledge, understanding, enlightenment that you guys want and can use. I understand for me, everything that I'm talking about is relatable. Everything that I talk about is usable, but I want to make sure that I am helping as many people as possible. So if I have not already talked about something that will help you guys, let me know what it is you would like me to talk about, give a little insight into, and give you my understanding or my perspective of it. And I will definitely do that because, again, I want to touch and help as many people as possible. So if you guys just let me know if you're gaining value from this, if you need more information, hit me up. Let me know what you would like me to talk about. Or if I haven't touched on the topic that you was hoping I talked about, just hit me up, DM me, let me know what you want, what you need, and we will go from there. But today's topic is the attitude of gratitude. I actually did a podcast on this, so go check out that episode. It's about being grateful. I actually did that podcast for my birthday in July. When my birthday came around, I did that episode for my podcast. My podcast is The Enlightenment Moment. It is on every platform that you can think of to listen to podcasts. Again, the only podcast platform that I have not found it on was iHeartRadio, but I will leave a link down in the comments or in the description for you guys to just click on the link and go listen to my podcast. I have amazing episodes on there. I've done a couple interviews. I have more interviews coming up this week. So I have a wealth of information and knowledge on there for you guys to listen to and absorb. And again, if you have a topic that you would like me to talk about on my podcast that is not already up there, just DM me, let me know, and I will definitely do that. And if you want to come on the podcast, also DM me, let me know, and I will have you on the podcast. We will pick a topic, we'll figure out what we want to talk about, and we'll just go from there. But today's topic, again, is the attitude of gratitude. And one story that I want to talk about as far as this topic goes is I have a lot of stories that I could talk about, but one is in 2019, after I defended for my title at 205 amateur belt in MMA. I was supposed to turn pro in December, and I was looking forward to turning pro. I had that on my to-do list. It was a goal of mine. I had the momentum. I was doing good. Training camp was good. The people I had around me was amazing. My support team was amazing. And I wasn't feeling good. Something was going wrong within my body. I was tracking my body, tracking my weight and everything like that. And I just wasn't feeling good. I thought it was because I was overtraining. I was doing too much. I ended up going to the doctors, and they told me that I had blood clots in my lungs and in my leg. And at that time, they said it was very serious. They didn't even know how I made it to the hospital in time with the amount of blood clots that I had in my lungs and in my leg. They said I should have been dead. I could have been dead. And thankfully, I made it to the hospital in time. But with that being said, they said I had to be on blood thinners for basically the rest of my life. So they said it would be in my best interest not to fight anymore, because if you're on blood thinners and you get cut and it's a very deep cut, they might not be able to stop the blood from coming out. I could bleed out, things of that nature. So they advised me to stop fighting. At that moment, the doctors and the nurses came over, and they knew that I was a fighter, and So they were like, "Oh, I'm sorry that you're not going to be able to fight anymore, and you can't compete at the level that you was competing at, and we're sorry." And I just looked at the doctor and I was like, basically like, "Am I going to be able to walk out of the hospital? Am I still going to be alive after this?" And they said yes. Just the quote unquote quality of my life was going to change. And in that moment, because I was so close to reaching a goal and achievement that I had set out, um, that could be something that was devastating. That could be something that could derail somebody's confidence, somebody that is up on the peak, so to speak, that could bring them to a very low place. And there were a lot of other things that was going on in my life at that time that could have brought me to a low place. But at the same time, hearing that I'm going to be able to walk out of the hospital and still be alive, and still be able to walk and breathe and interact with my kids and go to work and be with my partner and things of that nature, I was grateful. I was grateful that I actually went to the hospital, because I'm not one to go to the hospital unless I had to. In that moment, I didn't necessarily feel like that I had to, but it got to a point where people were more concerned about it than I was. So in order to, make everybody feel better, I ended up going to the hospital. But by doing so, I found out that I did have blood clots, and that could have been life ending if I would have actually competed, if I would have went pro and fought in December, because this was November when I went into the hospital. I probably would have never made it out of the cage. I probably would have made it to the cage, but I wouldn't have made it out of the cage. And just for that, I was very grateful that I was still going to be alive, that I would still be able to, again, have my family. I would still be able to do the things that I was doing minus fighting. So, yes, fighting was something that was taken off of the table for me. But in that moment, I was still grateful for the doctors being there, for the doctors being able to help me. I was thankful and grateful that I would still be alive. I was grateful that even though I did not sign a contract to be a pro fighter, I still made it to that level in order to be acknowledged. Because what happened, my trainer talked to the PA commission and they approved me to be a pro fighter. I was approved to sign the paperwork to be able to sign a contract to be a pro fighter. I just did not become a pro fighter because of my situation. Now, the PA commission did not say that I couldn't sign the paperwork and still be a pro fighter. It was my decision not to do so because of the advice of the doctors. But my point is, even in dire situations, even in situations where it seems like everything that you work towards comes crumbling down, you still have to find that reason to be grateful in every situation. People wake up every morning and have issues, but you have to find something to be grateful for. This is something that I do with all of my clients. This is something that I do. I need to help other people understand being grateful. Writing down 3 things that you're grateful for each day can change your perspective on life. It doesn't, I try to advise them not to write the same 3 things each day that you're grateful for. But as you write down things that you're grateful for, the things that you would have in the front of your mind that are bothering you or holding you down won't be there anymore, because you're going to be focusing on those things that you're grateful for. So if you do not do this, this is something that I advise you to do. You don't have to do 3 things. You can write down 1 thing, you can write down 2 things. But just waking up each day, writing down something that you're grateful for, will change your perspective on how your day turns out. Even before you go to sleep, if you want to write down something that happened in your day that you're grateful for, then it will change your perspective going to sleep. It will change the way that you view what happened throughout your day. So again, just having an attitude of gratitude can change your perspective on life. It can change the way that you view what's going on in life. I remember one time I was driving. I had all of my kids with me, and my partner was with me. We was on a major highway, and the alternator went on my car, and we were in Virginia, and it was crazy. It was like, it was 5 kids, 2 adults, and we're in the middle of Virginia, and it was like at that moment I could have been stressed out. I could have been uneased or knocked off my square, but I was grateful that I was in Virginia, which is one of the states that I have a family member in, and he was able to accommodate me and my family down there for the night that we had to get the car fixed, and we had the money in our bank account to get the car fixed, and we just got back on the road the next day. My brother actually offered for us to stay another night, but we wanted to get back on the road. We had a cat and some turtles that we had to feed up in Philadelphia. But the point is, at the moment that we broke down with 5 kids, all hungry, kids are rowdy in the middle of Virginia on the back roads, that can be very stressful. But my thought process was, I have a family member in Virginia. We had AAA, and we had the money in our bank account in order to get the car fixed. If we didn't have the money in our bank account, I still had a brother that was able to accommodate us and help us get the car fixed. But thankfully, gratefully, we had the things that we needed. So again, a lot of things go wrong in life, and on a daily basis. It's just how you perceive it and how you deal with it, how you address it, how you go forward after you receive that information. Everything after the next step after you receive the information will determine the outcome of what happens. And being grateful is one of the best things that you can do, no matter what outcome, whether it's good or bad. So I want you guys to take that with you. Again, check out my podcast. It's The Enlightenment Moment. It's on every platform. I have a episode in there about being grateful. And again, if you have anything that you would like me to talk about on here, DM me, let me know. I will definitely make that one of the topics that I talk about. And if you want to come on the podcast and just talk to me for about an hour, we could definitely do that. Hour, 2 hours, however long you have, I'll have, and we'll work it out that way. So I appreciate you guys, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. At the end of this, write down something that you're grateful for. And if you can't think of anything, just write down that you're grateful that I did this live, because I'm grateful that you guys watched it. I appreciate you. Thank you.